Whew, here we are, guys. Here we are. This is episode 446 of the Soul Not For Sale podcast, and let's get right into it. Tucker Carlson, Russell Brand, coming at you again with another clip because I like to just comb through an interview. I've watched this like 2 times already, and this last part, this is the final clip I have from this interview, and Tucker drops a bit of a bomb on Russell Brand, and Russell Brand is just left kind of speechless by the whole thing. It's a short rant, but a rant nonetheless, and it kind of poses the question of democracy. You know what it poses the question? Can we handle the truth? Can people handle the truth in terms of what the government has been hiding? Or, you know, instead of being conspiratorial and saying has been hiding, we'll say a different word, has been classifying 1 billion documents, to be precise. Can we handle what's in those classified documents? Do you think so? I don't know. But Tucker brings up a very, very, very important point when it comes to that whole thing. And I just love that he's willing to speak about it. He's willing to speak with passion. He's willing to just put it all on the line. Because, like I said before, the attacks are going to come. He's going to continue to do this show. He's going to continue to put content out there. And the attacks are going to come from mainstream media, from the Smith agents, if you're one of those Matrix believers, from the Smith agents. It's going to come from left and right. And the fact that he's willing to say these things, it's truly, truly inspiring. But, you know, let's not focus on that. Let's get right to the clip. I am bringing you to IamCoachColin.com. Little tutorial on how to get this magnificent shirt right here. Beautiful Soul Not For Sale with the red, white, and blue atop of it, the stars and the stripes. You go to catalog here. You go to America's Soul Not For Sale. You click right there. You wait for your internet to load up. If it's as slow as mine, it's going to take a second for some odd reason. And then it brings you through to the catalog we have. There it is, finally. And then you'll see that we have t-shirts for men and women. We have tank tops for men and women and a hoodie. All of that on IamCoachColin.com. Now, if you want 10% off on the website for any purchase, any size purchase, put in this discount code. It is IamCoachColin. All one word, all capital letters, 1 L on the Colin, gets you 10% off. You're welcome very much. Now let's get into the clip. And if you're someone who's bought anything off of the website, you are much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's get into it.
Wound up now. I couldn't agree more.
Okay, so here we are. Like, is it possible for anyone left in the mainstream media to say what they think? That's from @Lorna, who's one of our followers on Locals.
I can answer that really clearly. No. I mean, you can within certain boundaries. You know, like you can be against Bud Light or for Bud Light or whatever, but you can't say Ukraine is not a democracy, so stop saying we're fighting for democracy. You cannot say that. Right. No one does.
Hey, this is from @SunPatchPatria. With all these conspiracy theories coming out as true, is there anything that is still covered up that you think holds weight? You know, now with there's more information about UFOs and stuff, do you think there's anything that's not been uncovered that you can...
Yeah. I mean, Biden just reclassified the Kennedy documents 60 years after his assassination. No one, even peripherally involved, is still alive. So what could possibly be the sources and methods that were supposedly showing the world by declassifying these are so outdated they're irrelevant. They were using disappearing ink in 1963. So why in the world would we be continuing to hide the truth about the Kennedy assassination 60 years later? And of course, the answer is obvious because it implicates not individuals, but institutions, and reveals them as complicit in a murder and in the overthrow of the U.S. government. And the U.S. government is complicit in the overthrow of the U.S. government. And that's the truth. I know that for a fact because I interviewed someone who saw the documents. And so, you know, we have a long way. Look, the bottom line is, unless there is a compelling reason that relates to imminent physical security of citizens, we should never hide the truth from the population in a democracy, period. because that is incompatible with democracy. Secrecy is incompatible with democracy. How can I'm running the government, but you can't tell me what the government's doing? That's not democracy. It's something else. And don't insult me by calling it a democracy, because it's very much not. And so, yes, there's much that remains secret. I'm not going to speculate. You don't need to be a conspiracy nut. We have, in the United States, we have over 1 billion federal documents that remain classified. 1 billion, going back to the Second World War. So that's a democracy? That is not a democracy. It's just not. Tell me how it is.
Yes, in a sense, the very category of classified, except in matters of national security, obviously indicates a kind of parental relationship. You used the metaphor.
Thank you. That's exactly, I'm stealing that. That's exactly, it indicates a parental relationship. That's right.
And I didn't sign
We're locking
up for
the
that.
bedroom door. You can't know what's happening in here.
Yeah. I want to know what's going on in there. Although, when I did look once, it was disgusting. Listen, we're going to do a little bit on...
Wow. So, there you have it. The thing that he just said about how the fact that it's still classified, JFK, is because it's going to show the true colors of institutions, not just of people, but of institutions, is so true. So true. But here's another thing that I don't think he thought of. RFK Jr. is still alive. Many Kennedys are still alive. I really do think that has something to do with it. Because if it's just outright in the open that what RFK Jr. has said about the CIA and his father's death and his uncle's death, if he's proven right by these documents, well, now all of a sudden, the whole wall of him being branded as this kook, as this conspiracy theorist, there's a little crack in that wall all of a sudden. Little few bricks come off of that wall all of a sudden. If all of a sudden they're saying, he's a kook and he says all these things that aren't true, but that one thing he said, yeah, it turns out that was true. Verified by unclassified documents. Uh-oh. What else is he saying that's true? Support goes up by 10%, 20%? What happens? Now all of a sudden he becomes the son and the nephew of two men who were going against the establishment that were actually murdered by the U.S. government. The government did have something to do with it. Now all of a sudden he becomes a larger than life entity. I don't know. That's just a little theory I have out there, because he's still alive. If he could verify anything of the CIA or any institution, any agency, if he could verify that the U.S. had anything to do with it, I don't know. Could he sue? Could he go after them? Like, what could he do? I feel like there's a lot he could do. I feel like there is, especially if he has it verified by their own documents. But another thing, when it comes to everything that Tucker just said, could we handle the truth? That question that I posed at the beginning. I don't know. Some people are like, we can't handle all of that. I often think to myself, if we knew what was going on or what has been going on, I think people would have a fit. I think if some random black guy can get choked out by a police officer, and a lot of cities could get burned down and looted, I think if all of a sudden you found out every conspiracy has not only been going on, it's been going on, and it's currently going on, and there's more than you even think, I think a lot of people would just have a fit. I think a lot of people would be like, well, this system's actually too messed up. We actually need a new system. And they might do that by force. So I really do think that. If we found out everything. Here's a little quote from Dave Chappelle. I don't have a video of it, but it's something he said that really stuck in my mind. He was talking about Hollywood. He was talking about the industry, and it kind of lines up with this whole thing. And he was talking about Harvey Weinstein and everything Harvey Weinstein was doing to the women, and I think even a man or two, all the assaults. And he was on stage and he was like, what if I told you that was not even the worst of it? And you think of that, and you think of sexual assault, and you think, what could be worse than that? You know, this old, wrinkled man forcing himself on young, talented actors and actresses. What could be worse than that? But Dave Chappelle posed the question, what if I told you that wasn't even the worst of it? What could he be talking about? And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, there's a reason he's not willing to say it. And I think it goes beyond just, I think it goes beyond him, you know, getting killed by, you know, they. But I think it's because a lot of people wouldn't be able to handle it. Would you be able to handle it if you found out that every star and athlete that you looked up to had to walk into dark rooms backwards, do weird things in order to get where they are? You know? Could you handle it if you knew every politician was also doing these weird things? There is this whole big society of them, having things done to them, doing things to people, unspeakable acts that I can't even say, or else I'll violate some kind of guidelines on this platform. You know, could we actually handle that? I think we could eventually. I think we could handle it, but at first it would be shocking, just like anything you find out, you know? Even for the biggest adult that you know of right now, when they found out Santa Claus wasn't real, it was a shock to the child, but they grew up, and they grew up with that knowledge, and it became okay. They got past it. You know, they brought up that bedroom analogy. The kid that actually does get into the bedroom and does see what's going on with mom and dad, he's shocked at first, but when he's 30 years old, he laughs about it when he's telling his friends. So eventually he can handle it. I think eventually we could handle it. That's why I'm very happy about RFK wanting to tell the truth. You know, he has this whole idea that if he tells the truth, tells people truths that they don't want to hear, that it'll be better for the country. And that links up with what Tucker was saying, because then that becomes true democracy. And if a president decides to do that and starts telling the truth and showing people the truth, a true democracy can form. And the one step that I've talked about, and I'm sure you've heard other people talk about, the most important thing happens. Everybody becomes well-informed, truly informed. No doubt about it. Everyone gets the truth. Everyone gets to make a proper decision, you know? So I don't know if everyone can handle it once they hear all the truth, but I think we'll all get used to it. And then we'll be able to move from there. Because the one thing that's needed in order to change, and I coach people, I really do. I know I do this video thing a lot, and you're like, what kind of coach are you? I actually do coach people. And when I talk to them, I always let them know that you have to see things for what they really are. You have to really step into reality and understand what everything really is. Like if you're fat, you got to understand that you're fat. You got to understand how much you're overweight if you're in the class of obese. Because once you understand all of that, now you have the first step towards change. Same thing goes with the truth. It'll be something very hard at first, but now there's the first step in a long roadmap towards everybody being able to change. And in the words of RFK Jr. himself, then America can begin to heal. And America being, in my opinion, greatest country in the world, greatest nation in the world, I think if America starts to heal, the rest of the world will go through a healing process, I think. But yeah, Tucker Carlson, like the video. Tucker Carlson, Russell Brand, great interview. If you want the timestamp on that, in case you actually have been looking at this interview and haven't had time to just watch the whole thing, because I'm only person who watches things for 3 hours, 4 hours a day. The timestamp is 1 hour, 51 minutes, 10 seconds, and that goes all the way to 1 hour, 54. Oh, wait. Yeah, 1 hour, 54 minutes, 0 seconds. And that'll get you that exact timestamp that we just played. Anyways, guys, like the video, help boost us out of the shadow realms. It helps so much. You have no idea. And if you have liked the video, thank you so much. And if you've watched to this point right now, you're like family. You're better than family. My family's not doing this. Thank you so much. Other than that, I'm out.